Hey everyone, this is Adam again, here with you today to discuss a movie. You might notice I'm outside. It's such a nice day out. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. But it's such a nice day out. I didn't want to be holed up in the garage recording, so here I am, out in my backyard enjoying the day. So there might be a little bit of background noise. I apologize for that in advance, but yeah, there's already birds. Hopefully this still goes well and you guys can hear me and everything. Anyway, on with the movie itself. I chose this movie to begin with because it's a movie that kind of embodies the reason why I do this sort of thing, why I started the Instagram account, why I've started this account, to share movies that are obscure or lesser known and that are extremely important, either culturally, historically, or artistically, or some combination of the three. And this movie is spring, summer, fall, winter, and spring. It's by a director named Ki-duk Kim, a Korean director. And the reason I know about this movie in the first place is because of late film critic Roger Ebert. I read and still read Mr. Ebert's writings, and I learned so much from him just by reading what he wrote, because he wrote in such a profound way that, yeah, he told you about the movie, but his personal thoughts and musings are there, and they're almost philosophical, to the point where you read and you say, okay, I understand a little bit more about life now because of what he said about this movie. He wasn't big on top 10 lists, the whole what are your 10 favorite movies of all time. He wasn't big on that, but he did at one point give a list, and this is how I learned about this movie. There were things on there, I think I knew every other movie on there except for this one. There was Citizen Kane, Casablanca, The Tree of Life was on there. But then there was this movie, Spring, Summer, Fall, Winter, and Spring. And I read the list and I said, I had been reading his writing at that point for a while, and I said, what's this? Why don't I know about this movie? This is something I feel like I should have known about by now. And so I looked it up and read about it a little bit, and it's so deeply moving and so... I don't know another movie that is as beautifully entangled with life as this movie is. You have your films out there like Bresson's Balthazar, or The Tree of Life, things that really capture the human spirit. But really, as far as what beliefs and what morals and values and relatable things that we can all have in common that can connect all of us, this is really one of those movies that it's a rare find, because it really truly embodies all of that. The plot, to give you a brief idea of what this is about, it's a Buddhist movie about a floating monastery in the middle of a lake, and the lake is surrounded by all sorts of trees and nature, sort of how I am now. But on the floating monastery, when we begin the movie, is a young boy and an older man. We're never given their names, but they are monks. The older man being the monk, the elder monk, the wise elder monk that guides the younger boy who is in training. And the boy, we watch him sort of grow and develop throughout the movie. We begin in spring, as the film states, and he's maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old at the start of the movie, and he does typical things that a little boy would do. He plays and has fun, and there are some scenes in there, I don't want to give any of this away for anybody, but there are scenes in there where he, behaves a certain way, and the monk corrects him for it and says, if you want to live, this life of pure connection with nature as the way the Buddhist faith does, you know, you have to start learning these ideas and these sort of beliefs and upbringings. So he guides this boy into the next season being summer, where we see the boy and the man, but this time the boy is older, he's an adolescent, and this is where the plot begins to take shape. During his adolescence, the monastery itself is visited by a woman and her daughter who is the same age as the younger monk, and the daughter and the younger monk begin to form a bond. They visit, the daughter and the mother initially visit because the daughter's sick and they seek some sort of healing from the Buddhist monks and everything. But when they're there, you know, temptation begins to set in, leaving the younger monk to become attached to this girl who he's not seen, you know, another female since childhood. Obviously, he's been on this monastery. The rest of the film sort of plays out from there, and I really don't want to give any more away, as vague as that is. But I can tell you that the beliefs of Buddhism are fully embodied in this movie. I don't follow any sort of religion, but the Buddhist faith has certain principles, and that I've studied up on religion, different sorts of religion and everything, and from what I understand and what I gather, the way this film handles things is within the Buddhist realm. This film sort of embodies that entire Buddhist ethos. So I think the reason this movie stands out for me, and the reason it's so impactful, and the reason I chose to begin with it, is that I very, very, very rarely see someone else bring this movie up. And that is sort of heartbreaking to me in a way, because of how much beauty and how much emotional power is packed into this. I don't know that I've seen another movie before or since that really truly sticks with you the way spring, summer, fall, winter, and spring does. There's plenty of films out there that really study the meditation of life, great films out there, but this one is just one of those that seems to fly so far under the radar for some reason, and I don't understand why. I try to introduce people to this movie as often as possible to give an idea of what filmmaking can be and what sort of worlds storytelling can create. This floating monastery, this lake, the nature surrounding it, and the people that are involved in it, it's just all part of this world that we so often take for granted, that we so often forget that, you know, we all come from the same place. We are all part of this same planet, and we're all part of the same, you know, sort of idea. And that to me is important, because it transcends any sort of belief, it transcends any sort of faith or knowledge or any sort of belief system. It really takes it all in. So I don't know how available this movie is anymore. I got it off of Amazon years ago for a decent price. I can't imagine I paid too much for it. But as far as Netflix, as far as Hulu, I don't think it's on either of those. I don't think it's on a Criterion release. But I definitely encourage you to seek this movie out. And if you've seen this movie, comment below, tell me your thoughts on it, and I want to discuss this movie with people who have seen it. I want to discuss, you know, what they got from it and what they learned from it, and if it changed them in the way it changed me in relation to either life or to cinema. Because I think that's important. I think movies like this are important for those reasons. So definitely let me know if you've seen this, and let me know if you know about this movie, or if you're interested in this movie. Let me know, and I'll try to find a way to help you see that. Right now, I'm just looking to expose more people to more media and more culturally significant films, culturally, historically, or artistically significant films. Because that's what I believe drives this whole world of cinema. As far as everything else goes, I think that's it. all I had to say about that movie. If you want to know more about the movie, I wrote a review of it a long time ago on my blog on Instagram, which is at the films I've seen. You can follow that, or you can just read the review itself. I don't believe my profile is private. And I will be back soon with another installment of this, and until then, I wish you good movie watching. Thank you.